Hey, what's up guys? Lofton TCG here, bringing you a video right before YCS Charlotte this upcoming weekend. It is Wednesday as of right now, and this event takes off on Saturday. I am currently just on a mini vacation, just out here by myself in Tampa, Florida, just for a couple of days, enjoying the weather. And I asked you guys on Twitter if you guys would want me to make a video on what I think you guys should be prepared for this upcoming event. So that's what this is. It's not going to be anything super in-depth. It's not going to be anything super crazy, but there are a couple of things that I think people should know going into the event. Number one, we're just going to start off with you have to register on site between, I believe, 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. So you have to be at the actual venue and check in before. And if you don't, they're just going to drop you from the tournament. So that's obviously, that's a super huge rule change that they've never really done before. So if you didn't know that, now you do. You're welcome. Number two, the meta is going to be absolutely definingly crippling. Like, up until this past week, I really thought that anything could kind of go. You had the free reign to play whatever you wanted to play. But the sad truth is, if you do not have the Brave engine or the DPE package in your deck in some way, you are going to struggle. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you are going to struggle. Prank Kids are probably going to be the best deck for this event because they get to utilize both engines flawlessly, as well as utilizing Magician's Souls. So after they full combo off with their Adventure engine, they're going to be able to also just have a Prank Kid and get their entire Prank Kid engine going while having their Omni Negate. While on top of that, most likely following up with the Magician's Souls to pitch away the dead Adventurer cards or the Prank Kid's Place field spell. So they're just going to get a couple free draws off of that as well, and then be able to make a link to Verte, and then just be able to pump out DPE. So you're going to be very often looking at a main phase one double Regeki from Butler, a DPE, and an Omni Negate. So that is probably the most scary deck that you will see out there, and it is crazy consistent. That deck is playing 60 cards, probably about 15 hand traps, and now they're playing Crossout Designator. So when you thought you were about to pop off, you're not. Cards that are going to stop that deck are Ash Blossom to stop the Prank Kids from special summoning, Ghost Ogre to stop the Fateful Adventure from you not having to play on an Omni Negate. Ghost Spell is really good against their link to Cockadoodle Doo. That'll stop them from adding back Pandemonium from the graveyard when they tribute itself off as cost, so they lose a body and they can't get back their quick play spell that can be activated only during the main phase, which special summons Butler. And then on top of that, we're going to go into the next deck that I think is probably going to be very, very well represented is the Tenyi Sword Soul. So that deck in theory should play like Solomon Great. And when it first came out, it did. It played like Solomon Great. Like, we just have our play, and, you know, it's not great, it's not insane, it's modest, it's humble, and then, you know, you break our board, we kind of, like, recur a little bit of it back, and we do the same thing over again. The deck has changed significantly. It is now a huge combo deck. Essentially, even if you nib them, they will actually, it's not great. You're gonna be looking at a worse board because you gave them the token, and they're going to keep going. They are going to essentially go into their full Tenyi combo, which is the Halki Fibrax combo, and they're going to sit there in special Auroradon, special 3 tokens, Despot, all that stuff, and just in on a massive board anyway. And while you've just plummeted your resources. So that deck is very scary as well, because you need to look into that and figure out which hand traps to play proficiently to stop that follow-up play. Because a lot of the time it's going to take Nib Ash or Nib Ogre, Nib Valor, because once they go into their Hulk play, you're going to need to be able to stop the Hulk. But on top of that, they probably had Baron up, so they had an Omni Negate. So you're probably most likely going to have to Nib, Negate Baron, and then now they're going to have a follow-up play. You're going to need another hand trap. So that is a very scary deck to play against as well. This is not going to be a format or an event, I should say, that you're going to be able to get away with just playing 3 hand traps or even 6 hand traps. And I would say 9 is the bare minimum that you're going to need to be able to have a chance to be making it in the top cut. When building your deck, you should definitely build your deck to play for top cut, because if your deck is not ready for top cut, you're just going to be losing in top 32 because you got the top 32 people that were mostly prepared in that bracket. So that is something that you should highly take advantage of. I think Gamma is going to be insane this weekend. That's probably the best hand trap that you can play. Ghost Ogre, Nibiru, honorable mentions, obviously Ghost Bell and Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is generically insane, can stop Diffusion Destiny, and arguably can stop Prank Kids from completely popping off. But remember, having the Ash against that deck is almost never enough, because they open Rights or Enchantress, they're just going to have that Omni Negate, so their Prank Kids combos are going to be resolving. My best advice is to kind of think outside the box a little bit, because with Crossout Designator being so live, there are some key cards that people aren't playing as Designator targets. Kind of like Ghost Mourner. Ghost Mourner is a great hand trap. It's one of the sisters, and it acts as effect negation as well. Nobody's really playing that. And then No Material. So No Material is an older card that didn't get to see much play. Saw a little bit of play during Salomon Great format. No Material essentially will stop your opponent from being able to link away their Prank Kid monsters to further go into their combo. But again, you're looking at a Griffin almost every game. So this is definitely you need a minimum of 2 hand traps in your hand to play the game. Third thing I want to talk about is they changed the time rules here. So we're playing 45 minutes this weekend. And Konami is testing that out to see if it is going to be a viable measure of time now. That is very interesting. I think a lot of us kind of got used to 45 minutes because Remote Duel was 45 minutes. So I think they're trying to translate that to IRL events. So with that being said, your time is still important. If you don't think you can win a game, if you know the cards you play in your deck, you just do. And if you're in a situation where you don't think you're going to win, there's nothing wrong with picking up your cards and going to game 2 and giving yourself game 2 or 3, especially in a game 1 situation. You don't want to waste time and come down to it where you could have won game 3 and you didn't because you didn't have enough time. Swallow your pride, pick your cards up, go to game 2, and then play, and hopefully lose a game 3. 66% of your games are played with sided cards, so that is majority of what you need to be prepared for your side deck. So side deck cards are going to be insane this weekend, like Token Collector, Draw, and Lockburn. Those cards are absolutely menaces to the game. Token Collector shutting out Sword Soul. To an extent, it doesn't win the entire match all the time, but sometimes it is good enough by itself. Draw and Lockbird for Flunder, Prank Kids. That card, like I said, that card's a menace. And then make sure you have some back row removal, because there will be some degenerate Eldritch decks out there. I think something else to also consider is the early rounds for this size of an event don't really mean anything. You can play against the best person there. You can play against the worst person there. You could be the worst person there. It doesn't matter. Once you get past, you should be building your deck bare minimum for top cut, but you should be considering, if you want to do well at this event, that anything goes the first couple of rounds. You could be playing some rogue stuff that you're not prepared for. So you definitely need to be looking at some decks that kind of are sweeping under the radar, so that you can ensure that you don't start off 0-2 at one of these events. Starting off 2-0 is super huge advantage. Once you usually start off 2-0 or 3-0, you're going to start playing against the things that you're kind of more mentally prepared to be playing, mentally prepared to be expecting. You start off 3-0 at the event, you should probably be playing nothing but PK Brave, Prank Kids, and Sword Soul for the rest of the event. I can almost guarantee you that. So this video is going on 10 minutes. I don't really want it to be longer than that. Not even sure if this is going to upload. So if it does, give it a thumbs up and we'll go from there. Thank you guys very much.